This is Tom Rust for TRSB Sports Podcast. Today, once again, delighted to be joined by professional boxer Brandon Scott. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing banging, Tom. I'm not going to lie, I feel a lot better. I felt good then by professional boxer Brandon Scott. I felt, I felt good. That did. I feel awesome.
Nice one, mate. I'm going to come on to the process you went through to get your pro license. But before we get into it, just tell us where you are at the moment. I know it's quite obvious, but just give us a little tour.
I'm in my garage, so I'll give you a quick tour. I'm in a boxing ring, but it's in my garage. So I just been joined by Manoli. He's boxing for a Welsh title on June the 11th.
Sounds right?
How you doing?
Right, yeah. He's actually come here to train as well. He has, but I got to do my interview first, so you can wait. You got no priority.
I was going to say, mate, that must have been a lifeline during lockdown, having that at your house.
Oh, like you wouldn't believe, because even playing your Xbox, it gets boring after a while. So I was in the kitchen, I was in my living room, and I was like, I'm gonna go in the gym. And sometimes you might laugh at me. I was sitting here in the ring, just laying down with a pillow on my phone, just because I like being in here. It's quiet, but I did train here a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I actually developed a lot of new skills during lockdown. So, make the most out of make the best out of a bad situation. So I did that.
Yeah, I remember you saying on the last interview as well, you quite enjoy being on your own and sometimes almost like meditation.
Yeah, I do feel sometimes I enjoy being on my own too much. I'm not gonna lie. I find it quite addicting.
Well, it's nice you can enjoy your own company, mate, especially after lockdown. But listen, mate, so much going on in the world of boxing at the moment. I just want to get your thoughts on Chris Jenkins' fight with Marco the other week.
I was gutted. I was down Centre Parks and I was watching on TV, and I think what made it so worse, and if I could say, because he was winning. I felt he was winning comfortable. He was jabbing his head off. He was out throwing him. He was doing everything. And then I watched your interview with him, and like he said, he got it like a false sense of security and walked onto a good shot. And him, like he said, being the proud man he is, he didn't want to take a knee, and I suppose it cost him. But nevertheless, he, for the 4 rounds, he was. I felt he was dominating him.
And of course, everyone's got their opinion. Some people maybe think he should retire. He's been around the game a long time. A lot of people feel like he's got a lot left to give. What do you think he should do next?
I say let the man do what he wants to do. I feel it's all well and good people saying what they think other people should do, but at the end of the day, Chris could be feeling like he's 25 at the moment. Chris could be feeling like he's 40. I don't, as long as what Chris does next is what Chris wants to do next, and he's not being pushed into other things by what other people's opinions are. I think as long as it's what he wants to do in his heart and what he feels is right for him and his family, I think that's all that matters.
Yeah, I think as well, like you say, he went in there, he put on a good performance. He didn't get knocked out in 1 round. Maybe then that'd have been a little bit different, but he put a good display. And coming on to another Welshman, Liam Williams had a massive fight earlier on in the year against Eubank. He's been quite quiet. I haven't heard a lot from him. What do you think his next move will be?
Well, I think I do. I love Liam Williams, but he's one of my favorite fighters. He is. You every time you watch him, you're going to get a good scrap. You do. But I was thinking about this the other day. It's quite tricky because I was thinking what he's going to do, but he's been quite quiet in the terms of boxing. So I don't know. But what you'd imagine would happen, I suppose, he'd have a few comeback fights because he's not done yet. He's nowhere near done yet. But you've got to imagine he'd at least have a few comeback fights and then maybe shoot for another a British title or something, because he's definitely out there now in world boxing, box for a world title. So maybe if he just, obviously there's setbacks, but depending on how he takes it, make the setback strong, make the comeback stronger than the setback.
Yeah, 100%. I think he'll definitely fight again. He's still a young man, and I think he's got a lot to offer, and he's good in and outside of the ring as well.
Yeah.
But coming on to you, mate, as I said at the beginning, professional boxer, how is life as a pro?
Hard. Life as a boxer, professional boxer now is hard. I just finished training with Gavin Reese earlier, and he made us do the Murder 4 miles, which is one of the hardest runs known to mankind. I thought my legs were going to blow up, honestly. And then we came back to the gym thinking, right, that's got to be it done now. I thought I'd given everything on that run. He gave us 4 9-minute round circuits of brutal brutal fitness. And then we did another circuit to finish. Oh my God. How am I going to say this? I feel like, put it this way, I train Monday to Saturday. By Saturday, I feel like my body and my mind are having a civil war. My body, my mind is shouting at my body, what are you doing? Stop it. Then my body's like, nah, you got to keep going now. But like I said, I'd rather take my chances with anything over Gavin. But training's going amazing. And so life for me at the moment as a professional boxer is going pretty damn good.
Tell me about this run, this 4-mile run.
Well, I don't even like visualizing it. It's basically 2 miles. It's timed too. So you're all racing each other. You run 2 miles on the flat, and then you get to this mountain. It's called the Murder Mile because it's a mile of just that. At the hill, I kid you not, it's like this, but it's all the way up for a mile, right? I was saying to Gavin earlier, what makes it more challenging is the fact that you can see exactly how far you have left.
Yeah.
And it just feels like I'm on an endless tunnel. I feel like I'm running for 10 minutes, and I'm just like, I haven't got no further than where I was back there. And it's mentally challenging, but then you get halfway up and your legs feel like spaghetti, which doesn't help. But when you get it done, then there's another mile across the top. Sorry, when you get it done, it's a massive sense of accomplishment. Then that's a massive. You feel proud of yourself almost.
And I know a lot of boxers run as part of their training, but how natural does running come to you?
Oh, being dead honest, I hate running. It's love-hate relationship, if that makes sense. But I heard a quote before. I said, me with my running, it's discipline. I do what I hate, but I do it like I love it. I hate running, but I do it every day like I love it because I have to.
How important is that though for you to do that in training? So when you get into a fight, whether it's your debut or a few fights down the line, when you face some adversity, you've sort of been there and trained it, and you've been in there and training and overcome it. Well,
you just hit the nail on the head there. I'd say it's one of the most important things because it builds your mind. Like, so there's no worse feeling than I'll be sitting in my room after a hard day's training in Gavin's, and I look out the window and it's heavy rain, it's freezing cold, and I gotta go running now. A lot of people would go, no, I'll just leave it till tomorrow. I'll leave it till an hour. But the confidence and the respect you build for yourself when you go, no, do you know what? Get your clothes on and go running. Get on with it. And I get it done. There could be a hazard outside. There could be lightning. There could be anything. I got to get my training done because I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't.
It's incredible, really, considering where you are now. We spoke about this on the last interview, but once upon a time you were a teenager who was obese and really struggling with weight and struggling with confidence, being bullied, and now professional boxer.
I know.
Running miles, training. It's incredible how you've changed your life around.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I was looking through pictures the other day in my mother's picture book. Every mom has a picture book of their kids, and I was looking back at these pictures on holiday, and I was like, I was just going back through it, and I was just thinking to myself, it was mad how I had the biggest boobs in the family. Do you know what I mean? But I gotta look back at that and be proud of myself because, I've had a lot of obstacles. But I've overcame every single one so far, and I know I got plenty more obstacles to come. I know I've only just started with I've just started with my journey, but I have no doubt that the character has helped me build. The journey I've been on. I feel like I could take on the world every single day.
With your story, I was thinking about this earlier because you were coming on the channel. Would you ever consider going into schools at some point and talking about your story? Because there are a lot of kids, unfortunately, that do get bullied. Social media, I think, doesn't help at the moment with people going home. They almost can't switch off from it now. And you've got a great story. You tell it so well, and you've changed your life around. Is that something you consider doing if you had the option or had the invitation?
To be honest with you, Tom, I would love nothing more than to be able to go out and help hopefully inspire young kids like me. However, I was never in school. I was never. So if they'd have me back, I'd be more than happy to. But you said about my journey with the weight loss, a lot of people wouldn't agree with what I did. I took a lot of time out of school to focus on like myself and my boxing. So, you know, school was never for me, but if they'd allow me to go back to speak to them, just tell them, you know, you can do it, anything can be done, you know, just show them as an example, be here, there's blueprints, I'd be honoured. I would honestly, I'd be honoured.
Was your attendance at school though poor because of your situation at school?
I think every year they give us our attendance. I don't think there was one year when mine was above 60%. I think I averaged 50% attendance. I wasn't in school a lot. There was a lot, you know, I didn't like school personally. And then when I found boxing as well, I was just thinking to myself, I want to be doing that. I don't want to be going to school. I want to be doing what I love. And I know, you know, a lot of people at the time, probably still to this day, they wouldn't have agreed with what I did at all. However, it's got me to where I am now. So I look back with no regrets.
And something that I respect you for as well, you've not put all your eggs in one basket. How's the plumbing coming along? I know you're doing an apprenticeship with a family member. How are you getting on?
Yeah, the plumbing with James, it's going awesome. But I've taken a little bit of time out of that now, just because, you know, training for my fight. But no, he's awesome. You know, even how he's helped me sell, publicize myself well. I couldn't have asked for a better boss and uncle in terms of that. So, you know, not all my eggs in one basket, but yeah.
I think that's perfect though. You know, you've got that option to get that under your belt as well, but also you get the time off as and when you need it to.
100%. And like I said in the last interview, if I'm ever at a boxing show or I'm fighting and someone says, you know, the water's not working or this isn't working, I'll just be there with my little spanner fixing it up, no problem at all.
100%. And what's the name of the company that you work for?
J Garland Heating and Plumbing.
So if you have any problems, give them a shout.
You have any problems at all, any problems, plumbing or heating related, you speak to James. J Garland Heating and Plumbing, and he'll sort you out.
Nice little plug there. And mate, we also hear, you know, we speak to a lot of people on this channel that are just, you know, turning over as pros. A lot of people talk about it. You know, we hear a lot about it, you know, on various channels. Just tell us a little bit about that process.
It was, to be honest, it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, and it dragged out a lot more because to get my amateur card and, you know, to get a license for an amateur, I think I only had to go for a quick doctor scan. He just played around with my fingers, making sure I was okay. It was basically a 5-minute thing, and bang, signed my card. I was done as an amateur. I paid my like I think it was £20. I was done. Everything was just done. It took a day. But with this professional boxing, because I was trying to, you know, get my license done just so I could get it out of the way. It was, not going to lie to you, Tom, it was a bit of a nightmare. I had to drive up to Liverpool. And that's like a 5-6 hour drive for me. If it wasn't for Joe Rogan's podcast, I couldn't have done that. But I got there. I had to have my hepatitis B vaccine, and this is all within the space of an hour, keep it in mind. Hepatitis B vaccine, blood tests. I had to have, just a normal doctor checkup. I had to get forms for my optician appointment, and I had to go for this brain scan. Yeah. Oh, it was horrible. They put me in this tight little space, and the guy told me, just think of your happy place. Let me tell you, my happy place was not there. My happy place was far, far away from there.
Oh, is that the tube, the MRI you had to have?
Yeah, I've seen it in films. I thought I wouldn't be that bad. I was in there for about 20 minutes. It was a nightmare.
So a little bit different then from being an amateur to a professional.
Oh, completely different. That's not including the boxing board meeting I had to go to. That's not including, you know, I had to go, like I said, I booked loads of opticians appointments. It was a nightmare. But it's all done now. Like I said, I'm a fully fledged. I got my own little professional boxer's license card now. So when I go out with my mates, or, you know, go to the cinema, and they ask me for, have you got any ID? I'll go, yes, I do. Professional boxer.
I just imagine you just like waving it around everywhere.
I would. People going out to me, what's your name? I was handing the card. Yeah.
Are you out?
That's me.
Are you out like just dropping it on the floor so people pick it up and have to have a look?
Yeah, I'll be doing that. I'm walking past people now. Just how'd that get there?
No, that's brilliant, mate. And last time you was on the channel, I asked you how far you could go in the sport of boxing. You said to me, you know, you're not here to make up the numbers. You know, you want to go all the way. And again, that's something we often hear. But for yourself, what do you feel like that sets you apart from the rest that will get you all the way in this sport?
Well, I haven't just decided I want to box. You know what I mean? I've had before most people just start boxing and then bam, that's their journey. Before I even started boxing, I had a mountain to climb. I was, not many 12-year-olds could go and lose the way I did, overcome the things I came. Not many 12-year-olds could do that. And now that built a lot of character for me. And as my life and my boxing went on, I built a lot of character on the way. And without being cocky, I've always been different. I've always stood out. I've always had little things to stand out with. But I know in my ability. I'm not just saying it. I know what I'm capable of. I've got Gavin Rees, who's a world champion. He has full confidence in me. This isn't just me throwing smoke and mirrors about. I'm coming for. I want this, and I know it might sound a bit cliche, but if you want to stop me, you're going to have to kill me, because that's the only way you're going to stop me from getting where I want.
Your mental resilience and belief, really comes across. How important is that? Because we hear a lot of trainers talk about fighters. They might be great in the gym, but they can't necessarily do it in the ring. What, from speaking to you, you sound so confident. How important do you think your mindset is going into the professional game?
I think my mindset's everything. A lot of people say boxing is 90% mental, don't they? But it can be down to silly things like people trying to get into your head, can't let it phase you. But I think what would be more accurate is you could be in a fight and you could break your hand, you could get a cut, you could just be absolutely exhausted. You don't want to be there anymore. It's common sense. No one likes getting beat up. No one likes getting beat up. It takes a special type of human being to do it. And I know I'm just training my mind now. So when that day does come, when I'm going to have to go through hell, I can say to myself, no, I've been here before. Do you know what I mean? I've been here before. So if it means I have to go to hell, I'm going to walk through there like I own the place.
Yeah, of course. I think they say, the more you prepare, the less you worry.
Yeah, 100%. I still get nerves. I'm not saying I don't get nervous. I don't feel that. I get nervous a lot. I feel everything. I'm not saying I'm just normal, but I'm not going to give up. I know what I want. And
is there anyone in the boxing world or in the sporting world or just in general that you look up to or gives you or inspires you?
Yeah, there's a few athletes. So the one I love the most is, do you know David Goggins?
I don't.
He's known as the hardest man alive, but he was a Navy SEAL. But I started watching his videos, just you popping through YouTube, right? I ended up coming across him, but his mindset fascinated me. How he was always competing with himself, how he was trying to beat his targets and better himself. And at first, I didn't think mindset was that important. But now I think mindset's everything because of him. He's changed the way I think of everything. He's changed the way I think, literally, not even just boxing, my life. So one day, I want, my dream would be, I want to do a training session with David Goggins.
I'll have to have a look at him, mate. I'll tell you who else you might like. I don't know if you follow swimming, but Michael Phelps.
I love Michael Phelps. I remember I love sharks, and they did a Shark Week before they did, and they raced Michael Phelps against the shark. I really like Michael Phelps.
Well, you talking about mindset. My background is swimming, and
okay.
I remember watching him in, I think it's 2008 Olympics in Beijing, and he had done so many interviews after and before, and he would just talk about just competing against himself. It was like, forget everyone else. I'm just there.
Well, yeah.
I'm just racing myself. And I think someone said that he wouldn't be able to get all the medals that he did in the end. And he put that clip up on his locker. He saw it before every training session. And I think he went 4 years without missing a session. And he said, most people have Sundays off. That's an extra session I get a week. Just incredible. And I think that goes to show the dedication that he gave to swimming. Look, most decorated Olympian.
Yeah, 100%. Well, like you said about how he competes himself, that run I told you about earlier, the Murder Mile, I was me and a few of the boys were doing it, and Gavin said to us, you race each other, but I did it last week and I scored 35 minutes, 59 seconds. I wasn't racing all the other boys. I was racing 35 minutes, 59 seconds. And I beat my time, but that's what I care about. I've gotten better than what I was last time. So that's all you can care about. I'm better now than what I was then. So like you said with the Michael Phelps thing, I couldn't agree with that anymore. I have to watch some more of him.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Honestly, his mindset is just ridiculous, and his ability to turn it on when it really matters. I remember he was swimming I think it was a 200-meter butterfly final with 100. He dived in and his goggles went. He filled out of water, and because he would visualize so much before an event about things going wrong, he was still able to not only swim but win a gold medal in that situation.
That's a special type of human being, that, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. I definitely recommend watching some of that. But listen, mate, tell me about your fight coming up, your professional debut.
All right. Well, for all you that didn't know, for all you that are unlucky enough to not know, I'm making my professional debut in my hometown of Swansea. I'm fighting in Swansea for my first fight. I can't believe it. And it's in Chris Ware's gym. So it's, I haven't actually been there yet, but I've heard it's a state-of-the-art gym, proper state-of-the-art gym, like something you see in them American films. And it's on June 11th. And it's a dinner show, it is. So the tickets are £70 a ticket, but it comes, with good food and a waiter service to the table, I think. And but the main thing is you get to watch me. You get to watch me box. But I can't believe it. A lot of people get it's the first thing they think of is, I hope I make my debut close to home. Well, I'm making my debut at home. I can't believe it. When my manager Eaton told me about that, he said to me, he ran me up and he said, how would you feel, mate, if I told you could make your debut in Swansea? I just said, Lee, if you told me I'd make my debut in Swansea, I'd probably kiss you in the face. And he said that to me, and I was just, honestly, I think static, over the moon doesn't come close to how I'm feeling. I can't believe that I have an opportunity like this, and I've got so many people saying, jumping on board, coming to watch me. £70. I know it's good value for the money, but £70 is still a lot of money. It's still £70, and people my age, they're still coming to watch me. All my family are coming to watch me. I can't believe it. It feels very unreal.
Does that add any pressure for you being at home fighting?
It might add a bit, but there's pressure with everything. There'd be pressure if I boxed if I boxed in Norway. At the end of the day, all I need is a ring and someone to punch. That's what, more people the better, I feel. But I got a few things up my sleeve for this fight too, and it's gonna be awesome.
And if people come to that fight and watch you, they're going to get some value for money.
Oh, they're going to get more than value for money. Don't you worry.
Mate, I'm intrigued, mate, to know what you're going to do.
Even you, Tom, you're going to wish you were there. You're going to wish you were there in person to see it. I got a good few things up my sleeve. It's never been done before.
I was going to say, mate, looking at your facilities at home, I was going to say I'm not surprised you did it at home.
Yeah, no, like I said, the fact I've got this ring at home, don't get me wrong, helps a lot. But I can't say I got a good few things to come, but I can't let anyone know. Just gotta wait till fight night.
Get a ticket, go and have some good food and watch your box.
Yeah, and then everyone goes to Wine Street afterwards, and I get a good piss up on.
So listen, mate, from now up until your fight, I know you've taken time away from your job to focus on this fight. What is your day-to-day like?
My day-to-day is I wake up every morning religiously. I wake up, I weigh. And sorry if I can just go off topic a bit. I've got Aiden James, he fights on Cage Warriors and the MMA side of the world. He's got me doing my nutrition. So he's out in Mexico a minute too, and he's literally taking time out of his holiday in Mexico to help me with my nutrition. What a guy. But I wake up every morning, I weigh, and I have to drink a pint of water. And then I go downstairs and I got to drink beetroot juice, vile. And then I have to make my breakfast, and I go train at Gavin's, which is an hour and a half for me to get there. Train for say hour and a half to 2 hours. I come back, I have my food, and I train again in the night. But when I'm not training, I'm watching boxing, I'm trying to study, learn little things, because at the end of the day, I'm still only 18. So 10 years from now, I'll be 28. Like that's crazy. So I've got a lot a lot to learn, but I'm aware I got a lot to learn, and I'm willing to learn. So bring it on.
And how are the tickets going for the fight?
Tickets are going awesome. I've said to Lee, could you save me 150? And I'm not going to lie, the way things are going, I might have to text him to see if he can hold me more. Because with the show now, there's because it's a Swansea show, there's a lot of Swansea boys on there. But what you find with Swansea, because we're such a small city, we all kind of attract the same people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like a lot of tickets where I could be selling, they're going to other people too. Like you've seen Manu in your earlier, he's on there, he's boxing Jason Sillett in a 10-round Welsh title fight. There's Ben Crocker and Jay Harris also on the same show. Me, Jay and Ben are all Premier boys, so we're very much the same circle. But regardless, as long as there's people there supporting me, that's all I can ask for.
Yeah, that's incredible, mate. Only 18 years old, making your debut, and to sell 150 tickets and maybe wanting more, that's not bad at all. That's
not bad at all. But I was speaking to my dad earlier, and he said, "Oh, you might make a good bit of money off this now." But I don't care about money. I don't want money. I could lose money on this, but I wouldn't care. I'm not doing boxing to be rich. Money means nothing to me.
The thing is, though, I think for yourself, having the ability to sell lots of tickets, from speaking to other fighters, it must take a lot of pressure off you, because we speak to some fighters that don't necessarily sell tickets as easy as you do. They might not have a big social media presence, and we've spoken to fighters that will fight, lose money, or put in lose money or put in their own money. So for you to not have to worry about that, it's an extra pressure you've not got to be concerned about.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of extra. It takes a lot of like the stress off me, I suppose. Still got to work hard for it. I still yesterday, spent about 4 hours just looking at my screen, not on Instagram, just selling tickets to people. But like I say, for what they're giving me in return, spending their hard-earned money to come watch me fight, is the least I can do. It's quite, it touches your heart a little bit to think they're willing to spend that much money just to come watch you do something that you love.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. At the moment, it's well documented. It's in the news everywhere. Everything's going up, the cost of living. So for people to, spend their, as you said, hard-earned money to come and watch you box, it must be a nice feeling for yourself. Have you thought any more about starting your own YouTube channel to document your journey?
I was gonna start. I was gonna ask you, how would I start my YouTube channel? I think a lot of people would be interested to see, how my life is. Like I told you earlier, I'm different. I'm very different from other boxers, and down to little things of 90% of boxers aren't intelligent at all. 90%. Me, on the other hand, I fall into the category of the other 25%. You see what I did there? But no, all jokes aside, I'd love to definitely get that on board. But one thing at a time. I'm training hard a minute. I got a very busy day selling tickets, but definitely soon I'll start blogging my life on YouTube for everyone to see.
Yeah, well, we can have a conversation, another day about that.
Tom, me and you are good friends.
Absolutely, we can certainly help you with that. I was going to ask you, what's the biggest differences then you found from being a pro to being an amateur?
Well, amateur boxers would understand this. They say that professional boxing is like completely different to amateur boxing. I always hear that, and I was like, yeah. I thought, sure, boxing's boxing. I thought, but I look at it now. Like, you'd look at Usain Bolt and Mo Farah. They're both runners, aren't they? They're both runners, Usain Bolt and Mo Farah. But Usain Bolt's a sprinter, whereas Mo Farah is a long-distance runner. So they couldn't be any further from each other in that sense. I think professional boxing is that. It's a lot longer. You've got to be a lot more patient. You have to think a lot more. Coming back to the intelligence thing I said, you've got to think a lot more. And to be honest with you, it's the fitness is so much different. I was saying to my dad earlier, I've represented my nation countless times. I've won the British. I've been to the Europeans. I've done everything an amateur boxer could want to do. Well, most things. But I would say now I'm getting ready for a 4-round fight. It's only one extra round. And I would go as far as saying I am 3 times fitter now as what I was at my peak of my amateur career, which is crazy because you'd think it's only extra 3 minutes, but it's not the extra round that makes the difference. It's the fact that it's a completely different sport. It's crazy.
Is it also the mental side as well? Because it's all well and good being physically capable.
Yeah.
However, you can't be complacent.
No, you can't. Like I said, with the mental thing, you need to be able to compose yourself. A big crowd shouting your name, it can be quite easy just to get carried away and think, oh, I'm going to knock you out and gas yourself out. You need to be able to stay composed, but you need to be able to think on your feet. Like a second makes all the difference in boxing. A second, people would say, oh, a second's nothing, but you want to know a true value of a second, speak to a boxer.
Well, we spoke to Chris Jenkins last night, and we spoke about it, at the beginning. And unfortunately, he said, he was feeling good in there, and he got a little bit greedy. And again, one punch in boxing can change the way it's going.
Yeah, 100%. One punch, 1 second, one punch. These tiny little details make all the difference. I suppose that's why you could say boxing's an art, because everything needs to be perfect. Otherwise, one little slip up and it could be the difference between you winning and losing in good or horrible style.
And talking about big fights, we've got a huge fight a week Saturday, Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. I think we spoke about it on the last interview. I can't remember what your prediction was. So just remind us of your thoughts about that fight.
Like I said to you last time, I'll say it again. You asking me to speak about Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte is like asking a fish to speak about a shark. However, I got it back. Tyson Fury all the way. I love Tyson Fury. Like you said about the mindset, he's got one of the best mindsets you'll ever see in anything. So I really, really love Tyson Fury. And I just hope to God all this talk about this being his last fight is a bunch of nonsense, I hope. But I think I don't think he's going to knock Dillian Whyte out, but I think he's going to wear him down and stop him. Final prediction.
And something you and Mr. Tyson Fury have in common is your management, MTK. Just tell us a little bit about, how they manage you, how they look after you, and how your relationship's been since signing with them.
It's been great. It's been awesome. I got my I think I'm with my manager Eaton, who's obviously he's the big part of MTK Global. He's up in I think it's London a minute with the Gavin Gwynn fight, Gavin Gwynn's fight for his British title. Lee's awesome. When you speak to Lee, you don't really feel, if this makes sense, I don't feel like I'm speaking to my manager when I'm speaking to Lee. I just feel like I'm speaking to just my friend Lee. The first time I ever met Lee, just give me a hug. I was like, oh, this is nice. They make me feel welcome straight away. So, but like I said, still very early days, but I got nothing but praises for them at the moment. So hopefully it gets better and stays the same.
Yeah, I don't know him personally, but it seems like his work ethic is ridiculous. I think he was in Dubai when he was sorting out Michael McKinson, when when he was out in America and all teams pulled out, and I think he was trying to sort all that out. So the bloke is on it 24/7 and managing a lot of fighters as well.
Yeah, he does. He manages a hell of a lot of fighters, but he always seems to have time for all of them. And I'm just going through Facebook there, and he puts these funny videos up, and I'm just like, he's a great guy. Yeah, he's a great guy. So to be honest with you, I've got nothing but praises for him.
No, I'm pleased that you've got off to a good start. And listen, mate, before we let you go, is there anything you would like to add?
Well, yeah, I just like to add how grateful I am for everyone that's sponsoring me. Especially down to start off with my coach Gavin Rees. The effort that man puts in with us when he doesn't need to, without taking a penny, it's unreal. And I actually got into a bit of a bicker. Me and Gavin had a bit of a disagreement over the last interview we had. I said, I'm with the best trainer in Wales. And he was like, we are the best trainer in Wales, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to say this now. I have got the best trainer in the whole world. Gavin Rees. It's not even a bold statement. If you think about it, he was a world champion. So I am with the best trainer in the whole world. You hear that, Gavin? You're the best trainer in the whole world. And so I got to get that across. And, down to my sponsors, I got, everyone wondered why I'm always looking so sharp. What keeps me good looking is I'm sponsored by Serg's Barbers. They're quality, they are. I'm sponsored by Edward Gall, who owns his Motor Salvage. So co.uk helps me out with money, helps me with anything I need. a man, you know, he lives in Scotland. He doesn't need to help me. He doesn't need to help anyone like me, but he wants to out of the goodness in his heart. So I got nothing but thanks to give to him. And then I recently joined up with a new up-and-coming clothes company called No Sleep Co. And we all went for food the other day. They were all having their beers, and I was just sat there with my Diet Coke. And you know, they were buying me food. So they're treating me. I feel almost like I'm being treated in luxury a minute. And down to people like Chris Reese Academy, who in my spare time I do a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. So I know, you know, Chris helps me out with like my clinch fighting, and you know, when I'm doing jiu-jitsu with him, he teaches me little things about boxing, like, you know, how to frame, block the hands. So yeah, Chris adds a massive part to my game. Like I said, mentioned Eaton earlier. He's in that gym. So I've got a great team around me a minute, and I got a great supportive family, apart from my brother, who just says he's going to knock me out all the time and calls me fat, even though he's the fat one. So other than that, I got a great team around me, and I got good people like you helping me out with interviews so I can advertise myself. I got a great community who buying tickets off me, and you know, I got, like I said earlier, Mano. I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mano, because during the lockdown, I just didn't really know where I was at with boxing, and I became quite lazy. Like I said before, that's why I developed such a good mindset, because I knew I needed it after that. But Mano just kept on with me. He's the one that basically more or less forced me to go to Gavin's. So I owe everything to the people around me. I think I'm just how am I going to say it? I'm just where I am because everything they're doing for me, I'm just the center of it all. So I can't thank everyone enough.
Are you still the best looking fella in the gym as well? I think you said that last time.
That doesn't change. That doesn't change. I am still the best looking fighter out of the Rock's gym. I'm not going to say I'm better looking than Gavin, because he will beat me up. But when it comes to fighter team, Sir keeping me looking fresh, Edward sold me out of money, and No Sleep Co sold me all my new design of clothes. I'm the best looking fighter in the Rock's gym. I might add that to my Instagram bio.
I think you just need to work on your confidence, mate.
No, everyone says that to me. But people say to me all the time, they go, "You're so cocky." I'm not cocky. I'm just, I don't know. I don't take life too seriously. So, you know, well, maybe I am a little bit, but who cares?
Listen, mate, you know, the time that we live in at the moment, it's all well and good being a good boxer, but you've got to be able to self-promote, and you definitely can do that. How much are you looking forward to at one point getting on a press conference? Because I'd love to see that.
When I get on a press conference, I'm going to make it my duty to steal that show. I will be like, I'll bring more advertisement to that press conference than Jake Paul does. I'll do a good job for a press conference.
You should have stepped in for Dillian Whyte.
I should have. I think I'd have made a good like representative for him. You never know. Maybe for his next one, you know, anyone, you know, wants to play the quiet game, just hire me and I'll happily do all the speaking. I'll do all the talking for you.
And also, mate, the last time you was on, you had your Star Wars t-shirt on. I think, was it Star Wars?
Yeah, it was a Star Wars t-shirt. But what it is, yeah, I've got so many geeky t-shirts. I thought to myself, I actually wore this. I've been wearing this all day. But I figured if I wear it all the time, people are just going to think that I'm just deliberately trying to pull a gimmick off. I'm not. Put it this way. Last weekend, yeah, I've got pictures on my phone to prove this. I've been putting them on my social media. Last weekend, what's a normal 18-year-old do, Tom? Go out drinking?
That's it. I think
partying.
Yeah, Saturday night, what, bit of boxing, a few beers turns 100%. Into 10 pints, a kebab on the way home.
I went to the Gaming and Comic Convention in Swansea. I was at a Gaming and Comic Con convention in Swansea. And after that, I went to watch Sonic 2. But I didn't go to watch Sonic 2 because there was nothing on. I was looking forward to that film for months because as a child, I loved Sonic. And I looked at Gavin's Facebook and he's like, look at this thinking we're an idiot. But he took his little daughter to the cinema to watch it. It was only like, she can't be no older than 5 or 6. But I thought to myself, I've been looking forward to this film for months. And he's just taking his little 5 or 6-year-old to watch it. But that's just the way I am, and I wouldn't change it for no one.
Mate, there's too many people that are just a stereotypical person. 7 billion people on the planet, mate. Everyone's different. I think it's good.
Exactly.
You're quirky. I was speaking to some. I can't remember who I was interviewing now, but I was speaking about you. I said I had a young Welsh boxer on, about to turn over pro, and he did the interview in Star Wars Talks. I think we were talking about TV series and films.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to you last time, I'm not quite into the old sci-fi, but you've been watching anything else good? Because I'm always on the lookout for a good recommendation.
But yeah, let me first look at my tab here. I could give you series for days.
I need a series. I need a good series, mate.
A good series.
Have
you ever seen Stranger Things?
Yeah, I think, is that the bloke that stands outside the woman's apartment? No, that's not. That's something different, isn't it?
Stranger Things. It's like a retro kind of sci-fi vibe from other dimensions.
I don't really do sci-fi, mate. I'm more like a true crime.
Karate Kid?
Sorry,
Karate Kid. Like the Karate Kid.
The Karate Kid. Oh, what? Yeah, no, that's not bad. Not bad.
Like I said, Vikings, Tom. Last time I spoke to you, I started Vikings. I'm now about to finish Vikings, and I'm saying this. Some people might think it's controversial. For me, Vikings beats Breaking Bad. Vikings beats Breaking Bad.
I told you about Vikings. It's got no spaceships in it.
No, it's got no spaceships or flashy buttons, but sometimes it's nice to go back to the olden times.
You think that's better than Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I think I'm putting it out there. Ragnar Lothbrok is the best character in cinematic history. Big up David Scott, my brother. I'm giving him a shout out because he's given me that best series of all time. Have you watched it all? No.
No, I did. I did start watching it because it's got the bloke. Yeah, I can't remember the fella's name, but he's also in Lone Survivor. The son. I can't remember his name in it. But no, it was all right, mate. I can't remember why I stopped watching it, but probably because all the blokes.
You got a bad taste in series, maybe.
Sorry.
You maybe stopped watching it because you got a bad taste in TV shows.
Yeah, well, maybe, mate. My I always just end up sticking Only Fools and Horses on, mate. You can't beat it.
I do like Only Fools and Horses. I've been been a Del Boy. Can't beat it. Yeah.
I went to the show in London at the weekend. Oh, it was absolutely brilliant.
I'm actually a little bit jealous of that.
Oh, sorry, mate. But if you lived a little bit closer, mate, you could have come along. But you're the other end of the country.
I was fine in the comic convention. I was walking around Daleks off Doctor Who. Doctor Who's a good one. I was walking with Daleks and big Star Wars dressed up characters. I was happy in my element, Tom.
Yeah, that was it, mate. I knew there was a reason why I didn't tell you about it. You was busy. But listen, mate. It's been a pleasure getting you back on the channel.
Thank you very much.
You've any time, mate. We look forward to following your career. You spoke about 10 years time you'd be 28. It'd be interesting to see in 10 years time when we have a conversation, we can look back on these interviews and hopefully at that point you might have won a couple of titles. Who knows where you end up.
10 years from now, if I haven't won a couple of titles, Tom, I'll treat you to dinner. I'm not confident.
If you win a world title, mate, I expect a dinner.
Yeah, if I win a world title, I'll buy you a car.
Well, I can't drive, mate, so I prefer a Rolex or something like that.
That's fine. A Rolex will have to do.
Perfect. Well, listen, mate, I know you're a busy man and, you certainly can't question your work ethic. So, yeah, from here to the fight, the best of luck. And,
thank you very much, Tom.
You're welcome. Enjoy the rest of your evening, mate. And if there's anyone else from your stable that wants to jump on, just send me their details.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tom. It's been a pleasure.
Anytime. Take care.
Bye.
See you later.